We got one person in here. And let a few more get in here before we start tying tonight. Three, we're climbing. What's up, everybody? Oh, down to one again. Oh well. Tying a frog tonight. So, well, we're tying a frog first. And then probably gonna try some wet flies. Some English style wet flies. So this is a frog pattern I came up with last week. Tying on live, we asked people to suggest what I should tie this week, and a frog pattern was one of the suggestions. And I personally had never tied a frog, so this was my first go at it. I'm actually pretty pumped with how it turned out. It's mostly just foam construction. This is a what is it called? Flyman Fishing Co. double barrel popper as the body mainly, and then it's foam eyes, foam back, rubber legs, and then there's some little chenille legs up in there too. So it's supposed to look like a swimming frog. But yeah, so I gave away the flies I tied last week. I'm going to give away the flies I tied tonight. I'm hopefully going to put one of these together, and I'll give that away. I've got a few different colors of foam picked out, so it's going to have a little different color variation to it, but I'm going to be a frog pattern kind of like this. And then I'm also going to tie a wet fly, so English style wet fly. Hey Connor, not gay. Thanks for commenting though. So this is the other fly I'm gonna probably tie tonight. English style wet fly. Definitely harder to tie than I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, we'll start with the frog, and then we'll get into the wet flies. So the frog is kind of more just assembly. You're just putting pieces together. I've already done most of the hard work. I've got a white double barrel popper head here. I've already burned holes through. And I've burned some holes where the chenille is going through. All right. So this is a size 2/0 Umpqua X Series Beast hook. So it's a pretty big hook, but we're trying to pack a lot of foam on here, so you see we'll use up most of that. This is 72 denier uni. It all just depends. I've been tying a lot with GSP. GSP is really strong if you don't want something that breaks a lot. Vivis makes some good thread. Just depends. This stuff definitely is not very strong compared to the GSP I've been using, and I might end up breaking some thread tonight. We'll see. I've got actually one backup spool of Ultra. This is 70 denier. It looks stronger. It's just a little more glossy, and I didn't want that glossy look. GSP, yeah, gel spun polymer, I believe is what it is. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do on this is add the legs, the back legs. Oh. Okay, those are done for now. Now this part, I really don't know if this is necessary or overkill or if it's actually making it worse. But this is something I decided to do. The idea behind it, I guess, is I'm reinforcing. We're just giving this double barrel popper head more to actually grab onto than just a bare shank. So I'm putting some super glue down and giving it something to bind to. And I'm just putting a little base of this. This is just chenille. Now I'm gonna coat this whole thing with super glue. Okay. Now you gotta quickly slide this bad boy over before that glue sets up. Okay. What's the time? It was 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Okay. Where did I put the green foam? All right, now I'm gonna try to get this to go all the way around here, like so, and that's gonna be the back of the frog. But I gotta get these eyes in here too. This might not even work. We'll see, this one might be trash. It looks pretty decent. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So now we gotta start the thread again, back in front. I'm in Colorado, for those of you asking, and it's 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Okay. No, it doesn't take 3 hours. If it took me 3 hours to tie, you wouldn't be watching this. I've only been live for 12 minutes, and I don't even think I was tying for the first part of it, so. All right, this part's kind of tricky because this foam doesn't really want to sit there. This is where I'm going to break my thread if I'm going to break it. Yep. Let's do this. I don't know that this is any stronger. It might actually even be weaker. It feels stronger though. Okay. Try this again. I'm hoping my boy Yoshi jumps on here tonight. He's the one that suggested that I tie a frog pattern, and I've never tied a frog before this. So, well, before the one that I showed you guys earlier. So instead of copying someone else's frog pattern tonight, I am bringing you my take on a frog. And bear with me if I break the thread again here, because this is kind of a tricky spot. Motherfucker. There it was. I do think this is a little stronger though, so I'm sticking with this one. I think I might just leave that on there because really, the rest of this is just getting glued together anyways. And that's pretty much where I want it to be. Let's see if I can sneak this thread. That's gonna work. Whoever wins this fly, if it falls apart after like one bass or whatever you're gonna fish it for, I would think this is gonna fish for a bass. You could probably catch tarpon or something on it too. Anything that eats top water. All right, anyways, back to it. We're gonna poke a hole through the foam here. And that's where the eye is going to go through. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I'm forgetting the stubby arms. We can do that later. All right, so I'm gonna really crank on this sucker. I'm trying to remember what I did here last time. It's kind of weird because you gotta like reverse tie. I gotta creep the legs up here, I remember, and I used this pipe cleaner, like so, just to keep that out of the way. Jay, I don't know if you saw this is the finished product. This is version 1. So this is what we're gonna end up as. Hopefully. No guarantees. See, you gotta be very, I'm sure there's a better way to do this. You all feel free to let me know in the comments how you would do it. Hello. All right, now we're gonna let that foam down. Try and pull it pretty tight here. Mother, man, I just keep breaking this thread. I think I caught the hook point on that one. Let's see. I think we can probably just jump right back in, right on top. It's okay, this is all gonna get covered. And then at the end, I'll cover it with some resin. I'm just trying to cover up this foam without sliding my thread off. I've had that happen before where I build a ramp and then it all just slides down off the foam and the foam slides out the back. So I'm trying not to overdo it here, trying not to put too much pressure on it. And watch those legs. I'm gonna do one more of those. That didn't look good. I want it to stay right up against that foam. There we go. Oh, did you? That's cool. The exact same thing. Hard to be original these days. Oh. There we go. All right, so last step here for this guy. I think I went a little short on the arms on the first one. So I think I'll go a little longer this time. I want them to stick out a little more. Use his little froggy arms. Yoshi, you're here, dude. This is I'm tying this because of you. Your inspiration. This was the first one. I don't know if you saw it. I think you did see the story with it. Little different colors this time. We went with the white and a little different green on top. Different colored legs. Yeah, be sure to enter to win it again. I'm gonna tie some more flies too. This one, I'm not gonna lie, that eye's gonna be a little tough to tie into because the foam's kind of crowding it. That might actually have helped right there. It'll work. So y'all got a chance to win this fly. I don't know if you read the description or not, but you can win this fly and whatever else I tie tonight. I'm gonna do a little more of this epoxy here just to hold these legs in place and to lock all this at the back end. But yeah, you guys can win this fly for free. All you need to do is sign up. Everything's in the description. And yeah, suggest something for me to tie next week. Definitely appreciated. This is a fly that was suggested last week for me to tie. So I whipped this up. It took me, this is the first frog fly I've tied, so it took me some trial and error. I guess this is the fourth frog I tied. This is this was round one. This one was kind of goofy. This goes in the junk drawer. I think this was number 2, even goofier. Also junk drawer. This was number 3. Kind of like how that worked out. Especially, I mean, if you're looking at it how a fish would see it from the bottom, that looks pretty froggy. So yeah, you guys give me some fly suggestions to tie next week. But this frog goes to one lucky winner this week, and whatever else I tie tonight. I'm just gonna dab a little super glue on these arms so they don't go anywhere. Okay. All right, froggy done. All right, so the only other suggestion I got for flies last week was another thing that I've never tied personally, which is a wet fly. The guy said English style wet fly. It was actually the guy who won the flies last week suggested this. English style wet fly, which is interesting because I just got a trout spey rod. And so it kind of makes sense that I'm tying some of these because oh, hey mom, welcome to the chat. My mom does love frogs, like she said. Maybe I'll give you one of these for Christmas. Because y'all know we broke. Anyways, back to it. Wet flies are traditionally swung. So this is imitating probably a caddis, I guess. It could be a mayfly too, but the coloration I've got here is probably more imitating a caddis, emerging and making its way towards the surface. So yeah, this is honestly when I looked up, like I knew what wet flies were, and then this guy said English wet fly. So I looked up what an English wet fly is. Pretty much, I think it's all the same thing. I happen to have these hooks that are wet fly style hooks. They're size 12. I feel like that's maybe a little big, but this looks like a good size fly. I think this would fish. Yeah, size 12. Blackpool nymph and wet fly. These are straight from England. Perfect straight bend. Turn down eye. I think that was something that I found common in the wet flies. So tonight I'm gonna tie at least one more of these. This actually, I didn't give them enough credit. When I first looked at them, I'm like, oh, that's simple. That's an easy fly to tie. And it's simple, but sometimes simple is the hardest to pull off and look good, I guess. So try to tie a couple more of these. I'm going to give this one away in the giveaway too. And I have actually a couple more that I tied that I'll show you real quick that are just a little different coloration. One that's, you can tell, is not very good. This one I'm not upset with. It's just a little different. I did wire and it's black. I don't know if you can actually even see that. So it's like chartreuse and black hackle. So let's tie one of those. I like how they keep these old school hooks. It's like wrapped up in wax paper. It's like you're buying some drugs or something. So not many materials go into this fly. But like I said, you got to be pretty delicate. It's all natural materials, so they break. You got to be gentle, and I'm not very gentle. I like to rush things sometimes. As you might have seen in the last demonstration tying the frog, I broke the thread like 3 times, I think, maybe more. At least 3, we'll say. All right, I gotta try and remember. I haven't tied a lot of these. I've tied 3 of them, so. Okay, so to rib the body here, we're gonna do this stripped goose biot. I don't know, can you see that? It's brown. We're gonna tie this in tip first. I'm trying to keep my thread flat here. Just so everything lays down nice and flat. I can build a little bit of a taper in, but it seems like they like these flies pretty slender for the most part. At least the body. All right, we're gonna try to do this. No promises. I'll probably break this at least once. I have found though that trying to use the hackle pliers, I was more prone to breaking, so sorry if you are just looking at my fat fingers the whole time, but this is kind of what I need to do. So you get it to lay down properly. We'll probably get one more turn. And we'll trap that right there. I don't know if you guys can even see these smaller flies on here. Try and get you a little closer. This one doesn't look, the ridges didn't come up quite as nice as the first one that I tied. I'll just say that. All right, so now I'm just gonna pick out a dubbing to throw on here. I think you want a pretty fine dubbing. Let's see. You probably want something like brown or goldish. Gray won't. Okay. Need about half of that. Maybe I did need all of that. We don't want those crazy ones out there. I need a little more. A little more dub. Okay. Now, this is the hardest part that I found with tying these flies. And maybe it's just because I don't have the best selection of material, but you come in with a partridge feather, or I guess there's probably more options for soft tackle feathers out there, but the videos I watched called for partridge, and this is the bag of partridge I have. It's kind of like the crummy ends of it. So I gotta dig through here for a minute. Bear with me. Trying to find a feather that will do what I want it to. I think that could work. That could be our one. But again, tying with natural materials, if you haven't done this, it is a little more difficult. It's really easy to break these little fragile feathers, especially if they're old. Who knows how old? A lot of the materials I have are hand-me-downs that I inherited, or or I bought them years ago and they've been sitting, so they do have a shelf life, some of these things. Thanks, Yoshi. Appreciate that, brother. Man, I grabbed some of the feathers I didn't want in there. We're gonna try this again. Okay, so This is the hard part. We got to get this to wrap around a couple times without breaking it. This little tiny feather. Okay, we got it attached without breaking it. Let's see. This is the hard part though. If you guys have pointers for how to spin how to spin soft hackles, drop them in the comments. I feel like I'm already messed up here. Spinning on me. We gotta try again. I don't even know what's going on now. Something got twisted here. We'll see how this looks in 1 second, guys. That's not bad. That's not bad. Right back. Oh, okay. Got a little hater in there, as Cheech would say. I might just wrap back over that one more time. All right. Well, that's my soft hackle there. English style wet fly. We're gonna try and tie one more of those a little more clean. But yeah, as the homie Yoshi was saying in the comments, you guys can win all the flies I'm tying tonight. including the frog that I tied earlier. And you can win this wet fly and a couple more wet flies that I've got already tied up, and whatever else I decide to tie while I'm live on here. And we'll see how long I stay live tonight. Last week I went like 2 hours. I tied, I think, 5 flies. We're on 3. I guess we're on number 3 right now. But I stalled out because I lost a fly. And now I'm stressing because it was like my best wet fly yet, and it's gone. So what happens when you have a messy tying desk? Whatever. I'm gonna look for that later. We'll get back to tying for now. Back to the wet fly box. I swear I put them all on my computer, but nice. Appreciate that, Jeffrey. Make sure you go fill out the form to win these flies too. So we're not gonna like spam you with anything. It's just so we can get a hold of you if you win. Man, Yoshi, I have no idea. It's probably in the carpet somewhere. I'm gonna find it with my foot later. It's also pretty dark in my tying room right now, so I'm gonna bust out the flashlight here in a sec and I'll look for it. I swear I just set it right on the computer. The other one, there's 1, 2, 3 right there on the computer. But the one I had in the vise, I don't know. It disappeared. Yeah, this is size 12 exactly, so pretty small. I'm sure I'll find it. The thing is my phone is being used for the live stream, and I would need that to use the flashlight to find it. So until this is over, it's gonna be MIA. I'm gonna try and find a little longer turkey buyout this time, because last time I felt like it was way too short. Or are they longer at the top or longer at the bottom? That's the question. I think they're longer at the top. What? Buyouts are hard to tie with. I have not done a lot of it. I've tied a couple like nymphs with synthetic quills. But these things are, let's see, we go notch down, I believe. Pretty sure we went notch down. Notch down gives us the ridge that we're looking for on the segmentation when we fold it back over this way. And I think last time I did my turns a little too spaced out. They were like not overlapping. So Go a little closer this time to one another. Nope, I was going too close there. If you guys are wondering why it's so quiet tonight, it's because I can't figure out how to play music and not get copyright strikes, so I've got a earbud in. There's all these channels. Oh man, that one's ugly. Whatever, we're sending it. The trout won't mind, I don't think. It still looks pretty buggy. If you guys have any suggestions on stations that you won't get copyright claims that you can listen to while you're streaming, that would be dope. Because I like listening to music while I'm tying. Back to the freaking partridge hunt. I feel like I see so many that are in the bottom, but I just don't want to make a huge mess to get them out. I guess we're gonna just have to dump them out here. But yeah, I got a winner. We got a winner. Anyone else out there watching currently tying right now? Drop in the comments what you're tying. See if anyone else is tying flies or if you're all just lurking. Hello. Mm. See, that's what I didn't want to happen. But that's what usually happens. That was the perfect one too, so now we got to prep another one. Luckily, dumping them out on the table made finding them a lot easier. I'll just say that much. This should work too, as long as I don't break this one. See, like, why is that guy going that way? You're just a hater. Oh. Maybe. Are you guys bored of watching me break shit yet tonight? Break thread, break feathers. Wet flies. They are hard as fuck to tie. We're gonna try again. Coming in again. We're just burning through the partridge feathers here. It's crazy too, because you really only need like 2 twists, 2 turns with this partridge. I'm not feeling optimistic about this one. It's already feeling weak. I knew it. I knew it wasn't gonna stick. What's a alternative? Does anyone out there know an alternative to partridge? Two partridge feathers at once? That's the trick? I don't know if I even have two partridge feathers left. I might have to go black. This is crazy. Oh. I also, like, from what I have seen, they like these pretty sparse. Let's try one more here. I've got a little bit of confidence in this one. I also think I might have been just cranking down a little too hard. I don't really know. Yeah, this is partridge, which is, I think, typical when you're tying soft hackles. I could probably find some hen hackle, but I feel like those would be too long. But hey guys, I think we just did it. I might have caught a couple of those in there, but we're gonna run with it. Oh my, hold on. I just busted out. Oh! Let me see. Let me just go in my drawer of nonsense and see if I have anything else here. Otherwise, we're going black partridge because that's the only other thing I have. I've got like man, tying flies, not, I guess in the grand scheme of things, not very long. 7 years total. But tying soft hackles, I've been doing for about 3 days. So, yeah, you can really kind of, that's one of the beauties of tying flies and fly fishing itself is there's so many different ways to fly fish and flies to tie and techniques to use in tying flies. You can make it as complicated as you want or as simple as you want, both in fly fishing and in fly tying. Both work and both have their place. These flies, these wet flies, are super simple looking, but damn, I am having a lot of trouble tying them. I'm sure it's just muscle memory and repetition and figuring out the breaking strength of these feathers is probably a lot of it. Maybe having better feathers, maybe having the right materials. A lot of times, this is also just a fly that got suggested to me last week by someone that was watching. and I had never tied them before that. So I looked through all the materials I had and tried to put together a fly with what I had. I didn't like go running to the store to buy a bunch of new materials to tie these flies. So it is what it is kind of thing, but this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one that doesn't break. We'll see. It's the twist. I think it's the twist that gets me. And I'm like going behind this. All right, that's gonna work. So we got a little whip finish. Howdy, howdy, Avery Outdoors. How you doing? All right, you got some wet flies here. I got that one. 2, 3, 4. We got 4 plus this frog hopper going out. Like Yoshi said here, and if you guys aren't following Yoshi Bay 8 Fishing, go check him out. He does some fly tying. But this fly I'm going to give away. It took me like 30 minutes to tie. Probably more with the prep work I did. But I don't have bass that I can fish to around here. So this thing wouldn't even see water for a long time. So I'm giving it away. Go in the description, fill out the form. You could win it. This is the first one I tied. Little froggy boys. And then I tied a bunch of wet flies that I'm going to give away as well. One's somewhere on the floor. Hopefully I find it. Not with my foot. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe. If you haven't signed up, we cut it off when I end the stream. So we're at like 71 minutes, 9:02. I'm going to keep the stream going for like another 10 minutes while I look for this fly. We'll do that. And then while this is going, you guys can log on, go fill out the form, try and win the flies tonight. And also, while you're there, suggest what I should tie next week, and then you'll have a chance to win those too. I do need to do some personal tying. I'm probably gonna go to the Bahamas at the end of the month, so I need to tie a bunch of bonefish patterns. This is something I'm gonna show you few 41 people on here, a little sneak preview. This is a dragonfly I'm working on, but it's not like your typical damselfly pattern. I don't know if you can tell, but this is big. This is a 2/0 hook. So I'm hoping to feed this to a tarpon or a snook in the Bahamas. So stay tuned for that. But this is something that's in development. All right, I gotta try and find this fly. Go check out the description, fill out the form, win yourself a free handful of flies. I don't think I'm gonna find this without my flashlight is the problem. And my flashlight's on the phone. Is it on me? Oh. No. All right, I think I'm gonna need my phone flashlight to find this thing. We'll go another 1 minute. Another 1 minute, you guys can sign up. I hope when I get off of here, I see 36 people, because there's 30, oh no, it just dropped to 22. I was gonna say, I hope I see 36 people signed up to win these flies. Last time it was only 6 people. Only 6 people wanted free flies. That blew my mind, but one lucky guy won them. He actually ended up being from Colorado. I think just by chance. I was hoping Yoshi, my main man, won it, but hopefully you win this time, dude. Hopefully you get this frog fly and some of these wet flies. I got 5 wet flies coming for you, as long as I can find the 5th one. But I have faith. I have faith. All right, 34 of you. You got like 30 seconds to go in there. Go in the description, sign up, you get some free flies. Easy as that. And suggest what I tie next week. And then you can win flies next week too. No guarantee I tie what you suggest. Hopefully I get more suggestions this time. Man, I cannot believe I misplaced that fly. All right, that's it for tonight. I'll be back maybe again this week, but definitely by next week. So if you guys aren't already subscribed, go subscribe, turn on notifications. You'll know when I'm going live next time. You get to win some free flies. Thank y'all for stopping by.